things, we must compare ourselves with what others are doing around the world. A number of other countries are doing exactly the same thing. Even your most communist countries like the People's Republic of China, they have restructured their electricity architecture and it's functioning extremely well. I'm saying this because there's a misunderstanding amongst us that we are privatizing. We are not privatizing. If anything, we are going to be introducing systems that are going to make our state-owned enterprise to work more efficiently, more in line with what happens in the marketplace. One of the things that has been holding Eskom back, so you know, has been because it's a state-owned enterprise. It has had to follow the same rules like our departments in government, where when they procure something, they have to get through a long tender process, get Treasury's approval. Now, Eskom, when you want to buy a boiler, when we say go through that long process and go and get approval in Treasury, it's a delay of almost 18 months. And they've been saying, Come President, we cannot work like that. We need to work like a corporation. And we are now going to allow Eskom to work like that. It does not mean we are privatizing them, because we want Eskom to be efficient. We want Eskom to work well. And let me extend a little bit and go also to another area where there is a misconception as well. That, for instance, to our rail network and our logistics network. Now, our rail and logistics network used to be amongst the best in the world. Through state capture and corruption, it has really declined. Our trains are no longer moving, as you well know, because there was state capture along the way that brought a halt to our trains. The logistics, just being able to have the freight that is needed. Our ports used to be some of the best in the world. They have declined. Now, they now need a lot of money. They need an enormous amount of money. The type of money that would come from the fiscus. Now, the fiscus has to take care of things like education, health, and investment so that we can boost our medium enterprises and all that, and pay the police, the army, and all that. Now, our state-owned enterprises have been requiring money from the fiscus on an ongoing basis. And we say we need to be clever, because now it's either we leave things as they are and say we wait until we have money, and our logistics system, our ports don't function well, or we say we will allow those who have money the opportunity to come and invest so that our ports work well. The ports will always be owned by government, and we are only going to say, yes, come and run this port. And we've been discussing this with our unions as well, to say, yes, we will allow you to come and invest. You build, you operate, and thereafter, in some circumstances, you transfer back. Now, that's where we use other people's money to make sure that we boost the wheels of our economy and they work well. Because otherwise, we wait for years and years, and we then get our state-owned enterprises to compete with building hospitals, with building schools, and yet we can use various other means and instruments to ensure that in the end we do achieve the objectives we want. So let me be clear. When we drafted the Ready to Govern document ahead of the 1994 elections, we envisaged that we would have a mixed economy type of architecture, where enterprises would be owned by the private sector and the public sector. We also anticipated that there are those where we will invite the private sector to participate, so long as we are not going to face a situation where prices are going to escalate to the detriment of our people. So the clear message from government, from the African National Congress, is that we are not on a sort of program of privatization. We are on a program of strengthening the economy of our country and making sure that we reposition our economy and make the various nodes of our economy to function well. We want efficient ports, we want efficient railways, logistics, and we want an efficient electricity system, which is precisely what we are focusing on.